myself. My name is Cheryl Cortese. I'm a National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus Company, and I've had that honor and privilege and great happiness, great prosperity, but I would have to underline happiness now for 29 years. This month is my 29th anniversary, and I'm looking forward to the next 29 years. So it's just been an incredible adventure and one that only gets better all the time. And certainly, again, at this time of year, we're still wishing everyone a Happy New Year and certainly looking forward to a wonderful year. As I've mentioned before to many of you, we've been actually meeting like this every Monday night for the past 26 years. And so it's a blessing to have all of you on the line with us and a real joy. Tonight we couldn't be more blessed because we have as our very special speaker our own Jay Martin, the president and founder of the Juice Plus Company. And many of us, really feel just honored and privileged not only to know him but to work alongside him. And I would say that that's been one of the greatest blessings and privileges, is that we all feel that we are in partnership with him on this journey, and I truly believe we are. Jay Martin serves as the president of the company he founded, the Juice Plus Company. He founded the company in 1970, and certainly his personal style and bold leadership and strategic vision have made Juice Plus a long-term success story. I can say this, knowing it for fact, that Jay has knocked on every kind of door and rung every kind of doorbell in every kind of neighborhood, sat across from families on couches in everywhere from trailers to castles, and sold everything from pots and pans, fire alarms, and water filters to powdered fruits and vegetables and truck farms on balconies. And the most amazing thing, and I think this truly is noteworthy, is he turned a $500 investment into $12 billion in sales without borrowing any money or selling any stock, keeping his principles and sharing his profits. And we've all really been blessed and enjoying this journey together and continue to do so. If I ask how he's been so successful, well, maybe that's a good question. We'd love to hear it, but I think he'd probably say, well, that reminds me of a story. So one of the things that, if we talk about our new year and coming year, we're all excited about that. We certainly know that Jay, I think from everything I'm hearing, this last year was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, year for our company. And I think tonight we could talk about many things. We could talk about, what a great product we have and all the great things about that. And we certainly know that it outshines everything else that is out there. We could talk about our marketing model and how unique it is and how special it is, and that would certainly be true. But all of those things really are, I guess you would say, underscored, or they're the foundation of all the success we have has really been in relationships. And we certainly talk about the importance of relationships. I think that over the years we've even referred to this as relationship marketing. But maybe we could start there and talk about the importance of relationships, and maybe you could tell us why this is so important and give us some insight on building relationships, because that really is the true core of our business.
Well, certain relationships make the world go around. There's no question about that. And I think one of the things that I have always looked at was an insurance survey that insurance companies used to send out, and they would ask people how much insurance do you have, and some knew, some didn't, and how much is your premium, and they would say, well, I don't really know, and just the company and well, and then one of the questions was, who is your insurance with? And the answer that was the majority of the plurality, I guess, of the answers to that question was Bill. Bill somebody, I don't know. but bill somebody was the answer to who is your insurance with. Not the company, not the premium, not the face value of the product. It was bill. So they realized that relationships were the key to that trillion-dollar industry. And I think it's more true with our business than even it might be with theirs. In fact, our model kind of gives you a head start in a certain sense. You know, you and your team, if you get 25 customers, then you become a franchise partner. And the reason I call that a head start is because those 25 customers, for the most part, you and your team would have some type of relationship already started. And it's so much easier to move a relationship from a place where you're already at to the relationship that you really want. It's so much easier to do that than it is from starting from scratch with somebody you don't know. And so you become a franchise partner, and what that means is that you become a franchisor instead of just a franchisee. In other words, I guess the analogy would be a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Instead of frying chicken, you're opening up chicken restaurants. And that is why relationships apply so much in our business. And I'm asked from time to time, how do you nurture those relationships and build new ones? I think first and foremost, you got to care about the people that you're trying to nurture. And without that, you can just cross off everything else. You've got to really care about them. And in doing that, you certainly would find out what they care about, and you would take an interest in that. Then you got to realize that the relationship transcends Juice Plus and the business. And the relationship just cannot be built on the fact that they're a Juice Plus a customer or a Juice Plus representative. The relationship is with you. It's with Bill. You know, it's not with the product and it's not with the business. It's with you. So you have got to make sure that the relationship transcends the product and the business, and you got to be consistent in terms of your interaction with them. I call it you got to be constant, but not constantly. And you got to be measured. You know, a cup of soup is great, but a tub is too much, and so you've got to have a consistent relationship with them, and you got to be consistent. And I think you include others in your group, and because people want to belong, they really want to belong to something. And what better can you belong to is, you know, people tell us that the reason they get involved with us is because they want to do something that matters. I can't think of anything that would offer both the ability to take more control of your health and more control of your financial security. So those two things really matter. And this is where the buddy system works in. You know, I have really tried to get that across, that the people that are successful in our business have found a buddy or have a buddy, and the ones that are waiting to see if they're going to be successful don't. And that's where the exponent kicks in. You know, if you multiply 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 to infinity, and you still come up with 1. But try taking 2 or 3 to the third power, or the 6th power, or the 8th power, or that kind of thing, and you realize you understand what I'm talking about. So relationships are there's no question that relationships are the foundation of our business. We're about each other. We're not just about a product and not just about a business. We're about each other.
Well, and I love that. And you know, I heard you say once, you know, Jeff Roberti is my sponsor, and I think you were the one that said that you recognize certainly we were definitely a business couple. We have been fortunate over these 30 years that we've been here to be buddies in this, and really have employed that direction in a really great way. I mean, there's somebody there to have either a shoulder to cry on or a person to celebrate with, and I would say for most of these years it's been celebration, but it's great to, get together and either fix or celebrate as the days go on, and it's made all the difference in the world for me, I think, as far as success. And then, of course, the company has always been right behind us all in a way that I think has been another huge strength in who we are and what we're about, is that we're all in this together, so to speak. I know when we were talking, you said we were talking about ideas, and we all know that most ideas are usually improvement on other ideas or expansions of other ideas. So can you tell us how that might apply to our Juice Plus business? Because certainly...
Well, you're right on the money there, Cheryl, because I don't know, but I can make up some statistics.
Okay, that sounds good.
I would say that 99% of ideas are an improvement on other ideas. It just on and on and on. I could go on about that all day long. Let's just take Juice Plus, for example. Juice Plus was an improvement on juicing. Juicing was the most successful television infomercial in the history of television. It still has not been surpassed in terms of the number and the amount of product that was sold during the juicing infomercial. And okay, so how did we improve on juicing? Why was Juice Plus an improvement on juicing? Well, obviously it's more convenient. Any average ever juiced. I believe that swallowing 2 capsules might be a little better than going to the grocery store, buying some fruits and vegetables, coming home and chopping them, putting in the juicer, and cleaning up for a lot more money. So more convenient, and service and convenience still are more of a reason why people buy than price and quality. So that's a big one. And then obviously it's less expensive by a long shot, and it's more nutritious. A lot of people might take issue with that, but I sure don't. First of all, you've got the variety of the fruits and vegetables. You've got the peeling and the fiber. And the big one is you will do it. I'll never forget somebody talking to me when we first got in the business, and they wanted to know. I said, well, why do you think this is really better than juicing? And they said, well, where's your juicer? And I was thinking it was up there with Grandma's picture in the attic because I had juiced my first and last time at the same time. It's certainly more convenient, less expensive, and more nutritious. That doesn't mean juicing is not a good idea. It just means that Juice Plus is a better idea. And the other one is clinical trials. I think that that was an idea that kind of set us apart. Why aren't there juicing clinical trials? Very few vitamin general clinical trials. So actually going out and proving that we were a better idea was very important. And look at the towel garden. I mean, you could go on forever and ever. Let's compare the towel garden to the idea of a garden, because it's an improvement on a garden. It's obviously more convenient. It's obviously less expensive. You realize now we have a 5-year warranty on the towel garden, so that comes down to about $12 a month. And how much lettuce can you buy, and how many tomatoes can you buy, and how many cucumbers can you buy, and how much basil can you buy for $12? And it's obviously more nutritious because it is doesn't have preservatives involved. It's been picked right. I mean, you just go on and on. The space is less than is 5% of the space and less than 10% of the water. The work is nominal. There's no dirt involved. There's 30% more yield. You are in total control of the pesticide and herbicide situation. And I think one thing that really attracts me is your kids get involved. In my case, it's my grandkids. Your kids get hooked on the fact that they're growing something and seeing it happen, and they wind up eating it. Never thought about that before. You realize that now we have 5,000 tower gardens in schools, 5,000 tower gardens in schools, and one of the reasons that schools are attracted to us is it's year-round. You can do it inside, outside, upstairs, downstairs, doesn't matter. So those are the reasons that those are two examples of ideas that have been improved upon, and then I think the virtual franchise or the franchise partner versus a traditional franchise probably is more of an improvement than either one of the first two. Let's start with no fee. How many franchises do you know that have no fee? There's no investment in overhead. There's no investment in employees. And I think that is very, very important because you earn the Juice Plus franchise. You don't buy it. And that is so much, that there is so much value there that is beyond the surface. You have a knowledge base and a confidence base that buying something cannot give you that. It can give you excitement, it can get you motivated, it can do this, but it can't give you the knowledge and confidence base that it really takes to succeed. So earning a franchise versus buying a franchise is a big improvement on the traditional franchising world. And obviously the company support, we have a saying around the office when we start looking at things that we're going to share with our distributors, and the phrase is real simple. We do not make money off of our distributors. We make money with our distributors. That's why that we manufacture the product. We provide unprecedented research. We warehouse the product. We take orders for the product. We ship the product. We bill the customer. We collect from the customer. And we pay you for it and account to you for having done it. And the cost of that's $50 a year. So I would call that a big improvement over the traditional franchise world.
Well, and I would like to say and underscore it for everybody in my organization, and I'm sure the whole company, but all the people that I know and interact with on a daily basis, is what truly sets us apart is just what you've described, is that we are truly in partnership with the company. I have always felt like I was your partner in doing this, and as well as everybody up there at the home office, and that it's, you know, everyone's consideration for the outcome being the best for everybody involved. Corporate, you know, that consideration and I've always felt this, and I say it, I know if you ask anybody on this line, we say this nearly every week, that I feel like the philosophy that you fostered was that if everybody in the field did well, the company would always do well. And so, you know, I've always felt like we came first before the money or anything else, that we were the focus, and that just reverberated, you know, in a circle back, we to you all and you to us. So I thank you for that, because I think that certainly has created a wonderful life for all of us, and continues to, because it's not the norm in the traditional work world, and we're very blessed to be in this environment.
We've had a lot of help, Cheryl, from not only you, but from the hundreds of people that are on this call tonight. You know, it's a team effort. It's not individual efforts. It's a team effort. It's relationships. That's what we talked about to start with.
And it really is. I mean, that power of team and what a team can accomplish. You know, I feel like it's been an ongoing mission, and I love the idea of really the fact that the ideas continue to expand. If there's anything I've loved and enjoyed about this, is that it is a business of creativity. You know, people will say to me every once in a while, well, it's been the same product for a long time. Well, yes, fruits and vegetables don't go out of style, you know, and berries, things like that. But that's the beauty of it, is that, you know, the creativity really comes about by how we all support and expand and create together in really creating a foundation that everyone can do well and experience success, and that continues.
Talking about fruits and vegetables going out of style, I think I saw, I may be embellishing this fact, but you can look it up in the New York Times today. There was an article in the New York Times today about fruits and vegetables, about tomatoes and peppers and some traditional fruits and vegetables. They've been around for 52 million years.
Just 52 million, really?
Just 52 million years.
I think actually, we've got a good little lifespan on this Juice Plus product.
We've got a little bit behind us here. We got something behind us, and I will have to say that we lasted till 3 days after Thanksgiving with no heat, no nothing, and Sandra canned 21 quarts of marinara sauce from our tomatoes.
You can count on that being part of the staple for supper for an ongoing years, I would think.
It was my staple earlier tonight. So.
And maybe even gifts for everyone you know.
And there'll be a little bit more when I go back in the living room, too. All right.
Well, of course, we all love you, and we love that we get to work alongside you, but we also love your stories. I mean, if I could only tell them like you do, because I can think of a story you've said, and things like the Sif lady they're all categorized by title. But I heard that maybe you have a story we haven't heard, so we're going to ask you right now if you can reach way down and tell us a story that maybe we haven't heard tonight.
That could be the first time I've ever been stumped on a call.
Well,
no, seriously, I'm going to start a column. In fact, the first one I think is going out next week. That are stories that most of you have heard parts of and some of and maybe none of. And so everybody in the organization, from dealers all the way up to NMDs, will get to hear some of my my stories. And I think one that will be later on in the year is we all know that sales is a process, and building relationships is a process. It's not an event. It's a process. And, the one that I used to do a talk that said, you don't show up naked at the door. You don't show at all the first time you're out there. It's a process. You move it from one step to another. So I started looking at this one a year or two ago in terms of just how it came along, and I thought I'd share it with you tonight. The idea of seatbelts. The idea of this is I'm reading this if you don't mind. The idea of wearing seatbelts while driving or riding an automobile was first introduced in 1947. Obviously, the auto manufacturers resisted making them available. In fact, they said, no way. But finally, a few manufacturers succumbed to the pressure from the overwhelming body, or I guess you would call bodies, of evidence, and introduced them as an optional feature. All went well for those who chose to purchase this option, but the vast majority of drivers who still preferred flying through the windshield still wound up in the morgue. Pressure mounted, and the federal government required automobile companies to make seatbelts mandatory. The few who wore them drove, but again, the majority of the car owners continued to fly. What came next? The government determined that the reason people refused to wear seatbelts was the fact that they did not know they had them. In other words, you're smart enough to earn enough to buy a new car, but you're too dumb to realize it has seatbelts. So what came next was an annoying buzzer to remind people that they had seatbelts. However, if you think that will keep a person whose goal is to commit suicide by flying through a windshield and impaling himself on a hood ornament, and headbutting a phone pole, you're kidding yourself. We're talking 35 years here. Iteration 4 was to make a buzzer you couldn't disconnect. Huh. I'll buckle that SOB under my butt and I'm flying through the damn windshield, and by God, you ain't going to stop me. We all know the rest of the story. Louder bells, and whistles, and cops, and ticket pads, and baby seats, and airbags, and, yes, softer, more flexible windshields. The flyers are happy now because they have a cockpit to distract them and a phone to text their doctor and their funeral home at the same time. Well, how does that apply to our business? Think where we are today in terms of getting people convinced that eating fruits and vegetables are good for them. And Juice Plus is the best option they've got. Really the best option they've got. And think how long our business is going to last based on how long it took people to realize that going through their windshield in a car could be prevented. So all I can tell you is buckle up, and get her done.
And swallow your Juice Plus every day.
Every single day.
Well, I'm very thankful for that Juice Plus as well as the seatbelt. And my whole goal is not to, when I exit, that I don't exit in that negative manner. I really feel like Juice Plus has given me my edge. I've not missed it a day now in, what is it, Jay, 24 years?
Neither have I.
24 years we've had this Juice Plus.
I have, but my luggage got lost one time on the plane. But that's the only time I did. I had to ship it in.
Well, all right. I love that story.
Well, all of you out there.
Thank you for that story, and we look forward to the best year and the best years to come, and thanks so much to you.
Well, last year was the best year, and I can guarantee you that this year is going to be even better.
We'll top it. Every year we'll top it.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jay. We all love you.
All right. Love you too. Bye-bye. Bye.
Goodbye, folks.